Hello everyone. Let's turn down the AC so you can maybe hear me a little bit better. Hello. Welcome to my 2002 Honda Civic Si. Little drive time review. I've had this car since, golly, let's see, September, maybe 10 months now? 9-10 months now? So a little background, the car I had before this was a 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee 5.9 Limited. So I got this car last fall. I'd started going to grad school. Between work and school, I was driving about 400 plus miles a week, which in my Grand Cherokee was costing me a lot of money, as I'm sure y'all can imagine. You know, for one thing, it's got a 360 cubic inch engine, and then for another, it only took 93 octane. I started looking for a new car, and I needed, coming from a car that was as fast as that Jeep. I wasn't gonna be, if I was driving 400 miles a week in something in a Camry, I was gonna go nuts. I'd just lose my mind. So I was like, okay, well, it needs to be economical, fun, cool, and under $5,000. So, which my options were limited pretty much to a base model Mini Cooper or this. And I was very close to buying a Mini Cooper when the owners backed out. They're like, oh, we've got too much money into it, we don't want to sell it, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, screw that. And then I came across this little guy on Craigslist. Met the owner. It's probably a dude in his mid-60s. Wasn't wasn't a young hothead like most of the guys that want these cars. And it was pretty much stock. It's got it has an air intake, and it's lowered a little bit. That's it. Paid him the $5,000. Maybe a little bit more than I like when I would have wanted to pay. But compared to all the other ones I'd seen for sale, which were, most of them had a lot more miles on them. I got this with about 93,000 miles. Most of them had, a lot more miles, or were modified up the wazoo, neither of which I wanted. And I'll tell you what, I could not be happier with it. This thing is just a buckets and buckets of fun. So anyway, coming from a little power comparison, my old Jeep had 245 horse, 345 torque in 1998 from the factory, and back then it was the fastest SUV in the world. I'll admit, that car is probably faster than this thing. However, the steering is meaningless. It's vague. It's anytime you turn the wheel, it's like, I hope it goes around this corner, and at times it feels like the body is just gonna slip and slide right off the chassis. It's awful. So the only time I ever enjoyed my Jeep was on a straight road at wide open throttle. There just aren't very many occasions where you can do something like that, especially because it's got a Flowmaster Super 44. So when you do floor it, you ruin everybody's day, except for mine. And this thing is, it's a little bit slower, but the steering is bang on. I mean, if there's play, I can't feel it. It's heavier than the Jeep, or the steering is heavier than the Jeep. You can feel a lot more. I would prefer if the steering was a little bit heavier and a little bit more, if you could feel a little bit more what was going on. But it's a huge improvement. The thing handles like it's on rails. It's unbelievable what this thing, how fast you can take corners in this thing. Now, a 911 or a GTR or whatever is going to be faster around the corners. But I don't have $100,000 lying around. I had 5. So here we are. So this thing, because it's slower and because it takes corners so phenomenally well, I am having fun and smiling probably 90% of the time I'm in this car. Because you can put your foot down. it's going to take you long enough to get to 60 or, 80 miles an hour. It's going to take you long enough that you're going to, you're going to be enjoying yourself, and you can redline it and not worry about breaking every speed limit in the country. It's a ton of fun that way. Ooh, M4, I'm sorry. That yellow one. So yeah, I have fun in this pretty much constantly. And I don't have, the only time I'm honestly not having fun is in stop and go traffic, because stop and go traffic in a manual is probably one of the worst things on the planet to have to do in a car. It just is. First, neutral. One of the things I love most about this particular generation is that this Civic Si in this generation doesn't look like the normal Civic. If you look at like the EKs or the generation that came after this, the 8th gen, the 9th gen, you really have to look to notice that it's not a normal Civic. To paraphrase Jeremy Clarkson, Audis, BMWs, these cars, they're business suits, so they have to be, kind of drab and blend in. But, cars like a Civic Si or a GTI or a Fiesta ST, it's a t-shirt. It can be whatever you want. It can be outrageous, and it should be outrageous. You look at the 2017 Civic Type R that's coming out. I think that is one of the best looking cars coming out in the next couple of years. It's ridiculous. It's a little big, but it's ridiculous, and that's what it should be. This car isn't ridiculous, but it doesn't look anything like any other Civic, and especially in this color. Apparently, Euro Yellow was, all the press cars were Euro Yellow, and then back in 2002 when they released it, nobody bought Euro Yellow because it can be considered a little ugly. I love it. Steering is amazing, shifting is amazing, handles amazing, power, meh, fuel economy, it's 2002. What can you expect? So let's move on to stuff that I don't really like. For one, this is probably just because it's old. At this point, this is a 14-year-old car. The shifter is a little wobbly. There's some play when it's in gear. It's a little vague. It's a little rubbery. But it's also 14 years old, so I can't really knock it too much for that. I'll put a short shifter and some new bushings in it and solve that problem straight away. Oh, here's the thing. It needs a 6-speed. It needs a 6 gear. The revs on the highway, the RPMs are way too high on the highway, and if they put a 6 gear in it maybe they didn't put a 6 gear in it because it didn't. If you were in 6 gear at 60 miles an hour and floored it, nothing would happen. Absolutely nothing would happen. But at the same time, 6 gear or 5th gear, 60 miles an hour on the highway, you floor it, still nothing happens. So either way, whether it's got a 5-speed or a 6-speed, you're downshifting into 4th or 3rd in order to make anything happen. So I would have appreciated a 6-speed from the factory to make it a little bit more economical, make it a little bit quieter. The wind noise, now I know I can't complain too much because, frankly, the Civic, especially back then, it was an economy car. At 60, it's okay. Anything more than, 65, it's a little loud. It's a little too loud. It's not as loud as my Jeep, which was, just a brick with a Flowmaster on it, so you can imagine how loud that thing is at 70 miles an hour. It could be quieter. Closing the sunroof does help a little bit. The roof rack I've got doesn't really help with the wind noise. The seats do a very good job of holding you in place. Very good when you're cornering at speeds that would frighten your mother or your girlfriend. But if you've got a girl in the passenger seat and you want to put your arm around her, it's not going to happen. and vice versa, because you have this shoulder bolster right here that keeps you, you know, your arm can't do that like it can on a car with, you know, just bucket luxury seats. You know, my arm movement can't, it won't let my shoulder do that. It bugged my girlfriend, I should say my ex-girlfriend. It bugged her more than it bugged me, mainly because I've got enough going on with my hands, you know, when I'm driving, to keep them occupied. Heel toeing, well, it's more like, you know, left side of foot, right side of foot. You can't really do it unless you're hitting the brakes pretty hard. Like the brake pedal is, the gas and the brake pedal are kind of like this. I mean, I exaggerate a little bit. So by the time the brake is level enough with the gas pedal to make it easy to heel toe, you know, the only time you can really be heel toeing is when you're braking really hard. What the solution to that is, I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I'm sure they did their best, but it's just something that it bugs me a little bit. You know, that's all. Ride is the ride. It's around town. It's really stiff, like potholes, or not potholes, like manhole covers and little like juts in the road where like they stopped paving and started paving again. You feel everything, but then like there's this one turn, like, you know, you can take the turn anywhere from like 50 to 70, but in one of the lanes there's a bump, like kind of a big, like a hump in the turn, and when you hit that at speed at 50 to 60 miles an hour, you know, the car, it bounces a little bit too much, you know, goes, you know, over, down, up, and, you know, maybe it's just that my shocks are a little bit worn out, but given how hard it is around town, I'm surprised at how not hard it is in that scenario. Like, I'd want it to be just, you know, over the, you know, over, down, up, and then settled. So, but one of these days I'm going to put some coilovers on it, and that'll be the end of that problem right there. So now let's cut to some scenic driving. How does that sound?